To Celebrity Radio, it's Alex Belfield talking to some of the country's biggest stars and some of my favourite people, and we've got one for you today, a lady that everybody seems to love, whether it's Wicked, whether it's We Will Rock You or Wonderland, or on tour with Brian, and she's coming to the Apex in Bury St Edmunds, and that's happening on August 23rd with Matt Cardle, and joining us on the phone now is the marvellous Kerry Ellis. How are you?
I'm very well. It was a very kind introduction. Thank you very much.
You must be exhausted. You are one of the hardest working women in show business, and you seem to like that, don't you?
I do like it, yeah. I'm quite happy when I'm busy, and I think what's great about my life at the moment is the variety, and I get to do all these different things, and it's great. Yeah, I feel very fortunate.
It must be tough when you're a mum and then offered a tour, because that's the toughest, isn't it? You're away for a week on end, you've got to do 8 shows. It's tough to bring them with you. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, Wonderland is a little bit different to that, because for that reason, I was really dubious about taking on the show, and I remember going to speak to the producers initially and saying, it all sounds great and I'm really excited by it, but I don't think I can commit to that, because I'm used to being in a show, doing exactly that, doing 8 shows a week and committing to the whole show, but I couldn't do that because obviously I've got 2 young kids. So what they've done is been amazing, and said, right, well, what venues can you do? And the ones close to home, obviously you can commute, and I'm kind of just doing some of the big cities. It's almost like I'm doing a lot of concerts, which is what I'm used to, and I get to spend a lot of time with the boys, and I get to take them with me in some places as well. So it's been brilliant.
Isn't the privilege of picking and choosing just amazing? Because most people don't have that, do they?
No, and to be fair, this is kind of the first time it's happened to me as well. You know, like I said, usually I commit to a whole show, and that's how it is, and that's the job, and it's what we're used to. But I think with this one, I met Frank Wildhorn, who was the composer, and we had a chat, and we really got on well, and knew that we wanted to work together, and they've just made it work for me, and I'm very fortunate and grateful to them, and yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Just tell us very briefly what it's about. I haven't seen it yet. I've got to come and catch you on the road. But what is Wonderland about?
It's an adaptation of Alice in Wonderland. We meet all the familiar characters that we all know and love. So the Cheshire Cat, the Mad Hatter, the Queen of Hearts, played by Wendy Peters, and the White Rabbit by Dave Willett. And so it's very familiar. We do have those characters, and I do go down a so-called rabbit hole lift shaft. But in this version, Alice is older, so I have a daughter. Our journey is slightly different, so the way we meet characters is slightly different. So it's what's nice about it is it's a new show for people to see. The songs are all new, the story's new, but it is familiar, so people do like familiarity, so they kind of know what they're getting.
And as we said earlier, you're coming to the Apex, going to be on the road with Matt Cardle, and I've got a lot of time for him. I saw him in that wonderful show at the Shaftesbury, Memphis, which was just stunning. That kid's got talent, just like you. It's going to be a great show.
You know, he really has. There was talk of him coming to do Murder Ballad at one point, but it didn't kind of work out because he was on tour, and so we were going to meet then, and we didn't. He came to see the show, and we did actually get introduced, and we then did a concert together at the Palladium, big orchestral thing, and, you know, we're chatting, really got on. We didn't get the opportunity to sing together, and we were just chatting, saying, we've got to do something. We're both from Suffolk. We've got to do something together. He then came and guested for me at my Hippodrome show and sang a couple of songs. Again, we didn't do any duets at that time, but we were like, we've got to do something. This is crazy. So what perfect place is the Apex, because we're both from Suffolk, and the Apex is a great venue, and we just thought, let's just do a show together. So we're gonna put something together. What we're gonna do, I don't know, but I think we're gonna try some new stuff and try some fun duets. And like you say, Matt has now got this great musical career. So I think what's nice about both of us is we kind of both like to mix that up. So hopefully we'll find some good stuff to sing and entertain people.
Your timing is impeccable in a way. It's never been a sexier time for musical theatre stars. You guys are stars in your own right, and deservedly so. I mean, I don't think anybody understands how tough it is to turn up 8 times a week and do it. But then to have your solo career as well must be flattering.
That's always been my goal, really. And ever since I've started, way back in kind of my Fair Lady days, I've always tried to have this kind of parallel career of doing shows, but also doing other things as well. So, you know, having my solo concerts and voiceovers and workshops and all that stuff, because I think it's healthy. I think it's good for the brain. I think it's good for your career and your talent. It challenges you, and I think that's what's always kept me really interested and excited by what I do, is the variety and also, we all know that shows don't come along all the time. So when you're not doing a show, you need to be able to do something else.
And then we wonder about the stage door. How long does it take you to get home? Because your fans just love you, and you've really got to give them time, haven't you?
Yeah, I have, but you know what? I don't actually mind that, because I think it's part of the job, and it's also really nice to meet the people that support you and to see those familiar faces. And I really do know a lot of my fan base now, and it's wonderful to see them come to all sorts of things I do. So you do see them come to the musicals, but then you also see them turn up and buy my albums and come to the concerts. So I feel like I've got a real loyal fan base that are really good and have stuck by me for years. So long may it continue.
I think I last saw you live in Leicester, and seeing you do what you do is fascinating because you're so versatile. 1 minute singing No One But You, and the next minute singing a brilliant rock tune. Are you going to go on tour with the new album with Brian? Because we know that's out in April, but no sign of a tour. What's happening?
Well, I hope so. I mean, we obviously have this new album coming out beginning of April. Super excited about that. We've got signed by Sony, so they're going to put the album out for us, which is great. We're going to obviously be promoting that and do what we can. And then Brian is actually going on tour with Queen over the summer and I think towards Christmas. And I'm obviously still in Wonderland until end of August. And then obviously doing my concerts with Matt and solo ones. So it's a bit busy at the moment, but of course we're going to hopefully look to do some shows and play this new music, because there's a lot of new tracks on this album. So we want to definitely get out there and do it. But I guess it's timing with Brian. Both of us are horrendously busy, and we've got to find the right time to do it that's good for us and good for people to come and see.
But it would be such a waste if you didn't, because you two just love performing together, don't you? That's the joy of it. To not perform that album would be terrible. It'd be a travesty.
It would be a travesty, and yeah, I think that's, we do enjoy performing live, and that's what we do. That's what we're good at, and I'm sure we will find a place to do that.
I've asked you this question before, but when you're stood opposite Brian, does it ever become normal? I mean, he's Mr. Queen. He is one of the biggest rock stars in the world, and he chose you. There you were in We Will Rock You, one of many in the cast, and you're the go-to lady that he wants to take on tour. It must be amazing.
Yeah, I think what's interesting about Brian and I is that it's been a long-time collaboration. We obviously worked together way back in Rock You days, but we didn't really do much album work until kind of 2009, 2010 really. I mean, we did work in the studio, but it did take a little while for us to actually be serious about it and to start putting albums out and touring, and it took a little while. And I think for me it was about growing up really, because obviously we had this massive rock legend and I was like 20, so like now, however many years on, I've grown, I've had a career of my own. It felt like, especially the last kind of 4 or 5 years, it felt like the right kind of time for us to be out touring together. And we've got more, or I've got more stuff to say, whereas when I was 20, there was no way I could have toured with Brian, because it just would have been so out of balance. There wouldn't have been the right connection. Whereas now, we go off and do our own things, and we come back together and we do something interesting and unusual. And I think that's how it works and why it's so special.
You are a problem, though, when you get live. I saw a clip of you the other day with Maz Murray trying to sing one of his songs. Doesn't always go well, does it?
No, I mean, that was quite a while ago. I must admit, but I have laughed a lot about that. It's very funny. You know what it is with me? I like to have fun, and I think people that come to see me know that I like to have fun, and that's the whole point of performing. When you're in a show, you're so restricted, and so you have to perform within parameter, whereas when you're doing your own things, you've got a lot more freedom, and I like to perhaps enjoy that a little bit too much.
Well, and it's infectious. If you're having a good time, we're going to have a good time. Is there anything more brilliant than standing in front of a full orchestra when they're whacking out those Queen tunes? Because, I mean, they were born to be orchestrated in that way, weren't they? They're so theatrical.
They really were, yeah. No, there isn't. And any opportunity I get to sing, especially something like No One But You, that's very poignant to me and very close to me. Any time I get to sing that with an audience, is always brilliant, and I'm very grateful.
Louise Rossman, thank you very much for your tweet as well. And Queen of Norway, they all want to know about the Brian May tour. You've got to make it happen. Any chance you'll be doing Carnegie Hall, they want to know? Any chance of New York?
Oh my my God, that would be amazing. You know, it's a bit of a dream of Brian and I's actually, because we've talked about the Albert Hall. You know, we've done the Palladium. We've done some amazing places in Italy. So yeah, Carnegie Hall is on the list. So who knows? Maybe that'll be the place to launch this tour.
I guess we've got to ask if Brian's okay, because I know the last tour that was booked, he couldn't make because of medical stuff. Is he okay now? I guess with the Queen tour being booked, he's back on top form.
He's getting there. I think, you know, with Brian, he doesn't stop. You know, he's like, we both work all the time, and he likes to take on a million things, as we know. He has his books. He has, they have a film coming out. He has the Queen stuff. We do stuff together. He's constantly doing all the animal charity stuff. He's constantly doing something. And I think they had a massive year last year, and he's not, bless him, getting any younger. And I think it's just a lot to take on. So yeah, I think he's getting there. And trying to tell him to take it easy is crazy. So yeah, I'm sure.
And born a rock star, you're always going to be a rock star, aren't you? He's not going to give that up.
I think so.
Stuart Newman wants to know, what's the date of the album launch? Do we know yet when it's going to be out?
I think it's the 7th of April. I can't say it's 100% then, but I know it's around that date. We've delivered the album, we've done all the artwork and everything, so it's all ready to go. So it's just a case of, you know, dotting the I's and crossing the T's. So I think it's the 7th of April.
Where would you rather be? Behind a microphone in a studio or on a stage live? Is it the live stuff you live for?
It's hard. Yeah, I think it is. And I think I thrive when I'm live. But also being in a studio is great to capture that as well, and to be able to put out a real honest and good version of the song or yourself or a performance. I think that's very special too. So, but yeah, for me, live is where it's at, I think.
What a thrill to be young, to be talented, and to be in work constantly. You've had a dream career, really, in a way. You must pinch yourself sometime when you look at your own CV, because few people have those opportunities, let alone to do them so well. It must be great to be in the place you're at the moment. Happy family life, happy professional life. A lot of people never get that, do they?
It is. I mean, yeah, I'm very fortunate. You know, I have an amazing family. I have a very supportive family as well, which allows me to do what I do. Logistically, it's a nightmare, but that's, you know, I don't mind that because I get to do what I love doing and be supported by an amazing family. So I'm very blessed. What's
next, or can't you tell us?
I'm pretty busy till the end of the year, really. So next year, I'm always up for a new challenge. And what I love is that I never know what's coming next. And you literally, you know, your life can change in a phone call. It really does happen like that. And that's what I love about it. And yeah, till the end of this year, and then who knows?
Keep on keeping on. We love to hear you sing. Kerry Ellis and Matt Cardle will be live on August 23rd, 2017 at 7:30 at the Apex in Bury St Edmunds for a one-night exclusive. She continues to tour in Wonderland, and you can find out more by going to Kerry Ellis, and you can get tickets by Googling The Apex, Bury St Edmunds, Kerry Ellis and Matt Cardle on August 23rd. Kerry, always lovely to talk to you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Alex. I will speak to you. Thanks.